Hello everyone, it's Lel, and it's finally time for us to talk about Tropical-Rouge! Yes! Let's talk about the first episode. And let's start because I think there are lots of things to say. Lots of things happened in this first episode. I was shocked with how much information they were able to cram in this first episode. And let me just start by saying this was a very strong start for a season. A very strong start. Everything happened in such a nice way. The rhythm was great. Technically, this episode was perfect. So let's get it out the way. Soundtrack is incredible. What the hell? The soundtrack is perfect. The background music is flawless. Like, flawless. I couldn't believe my ears. Also, the animation, the animation in this episode was out of this world. We know that first episodes tend to be good, but this was not good. This was like super. We had some artistic shots here and there in some moments, like with Laura, with Manatsu. I was shocked, honestly, and the funny faces, the meme faces. This season is going to be a fest. We are gonna have a lot of fun with Tropical-Rouge. Technicalities apart, I still think that this episode was amazing in terms of character, the way the characters acted, and the way they presented the characters to us. I feel like there are gonna be lots of layers to Laura, who I feel is the biggest star so far, and Manatsu is going to be a fun lead. She is going to be so great to follow. So we start this episode with Manatsu moving to the big city, which is Aozora City. There's even a poster in her room, Aozora. There's also Rainbow in her room, so she is Rainbow Girl. Okay, not really. As we always say, the website describes her as white plus tropical colored cure. So make that what you will. I'm not gonna discuss that. But she moves on to the big city. There are lots of funny scenes of her with her big backpack, with her jumping on the ship, like, girl, like, so full of life. I love it. And we also meet her father, who is a hot man, like most fathers in the Precure franchise. Okay, honey, I already have a thing for Manatsu's father. So she moves on to Aozora City to meet her mom, and she meets her mom there. Her mom works at the aquarium. And at the same time, we see Laura. Laura is part of a kingdom under the sea, which was attacked. And everybody in the kingdom was feeling unmotivated. So everybody's just like there, laying down defeated. And I was wondering if we were going to see other mermaids than Laura. And yes, we are. There are other mermaids. Yes, I hope they appear somehow in the season later on, because they're beautiful. And then we see Laura talking to the queen, which was not affected either. So she needs help. The queen needs help, and Laura wants to help somehow. And so she says that Laura needs to find humans who resonate their hearts with mermaids so that they can become precure. I wonder if this happened in the past, if there are past precures in Tropical-Rouge, because like the queen was very clear in what Laura needed to do and why she needed to find the precures. So I wonder if this happened previously with other mermaids. Also, the queen, she looks stunningly beautiful. When I was watching the opening, when I was analyzing the opening, I said I didn't really like her visually, but in this episode, she quickly changed my mind. She looks stunning. I love it. And Kururun was by her side, but Kururun didn't even appear, like, didn't even get a focus shot or anything like that. Kururun was just there. Poor Kururun. So she gave Laura the pact, and Laura went to the surface to try and find humans. But Laura, I found this very interesting. Laura doesn't seem to be worried about her kingdom at all. She's just doing what she needs to do because she wants to be the next queen. And she even asks the queen, if I succeed, can I be the next queen? And the queen says, depending on how your mission goes. So I'm very curious to see if she's actually going to succeed and become the queen at the end, or if she's going to change her dreams, if she's going to want to be someone else. I don't know. What I know is that I love her personality. And so Laura goes to the surface with the aquapod. right? So she already stores herself inside the aquapot, and the way she goes out, girl, I love that scene. And we have like the first moment between Manatsu and Laura, which is Manatsu drops her lipstick in the sea and Laura gets it. So Laura just stores it. We have funny scenes from Manatsu being afraid of the city. And I like that scene when she was afraid and she started using makeup to feel more courageous, to feel braver. Because we usually do this in lots of different ways. We have different ways of coping with things that don't necessarily mean like objectively something. Like you put on makeup, you can go against gangs in the city. You can't, but it gives you power. So I liked that scene, like random things you do to yourself to make you believe you have the courage, have the braveness. And so when she gets to the city, it's super fun. She meets her mother, and she also meets the head of the aquarium, the director of the aquarium. And she says that the director says that humans only know 5% of the ocean, so there might really be mermaids there. Is she just hinting us something? Or does she know that mermaids exist? Did she have like past experiences with mermaids? This is interesting. This character appears in the opening, so she might play a role. I don't know. And so after that, Manatsu goes to the city and she goes to lots of different places. She's very happy and she meets Sango. The scene where she met Sango was very, very adorable, very, very cute. And then she goes to rest in the beach and she finds Laura. I can't even explain the scene that they got together for the first time. It was super fun. It was super interesting. The way Manatsu was super, super hyper over meeting a mermaid and Laura was just there. It was awesome. It was every single thing in my life. I loved that scene so much. And Laura was even playing around with Manatsu praising her. But then when the time came, when it dawned on herself, she was like, I have a mission here. And the way she told her the full name, her full Laura name, and Manatsu didn't even try. She did not even try. Oh my god. I Fairouz, who's doing the voice of Cure Summer, of Manatsu, girl, she is amazing. She is amazing. I love her voice acting. And Laura's voice actor, Rina Hidaka, who's voicing Laura, is also doing a stellar job. A stellar job. And so she gives Manatsu the pact, but Manatsu can't open it. And so things don't work. So she just says goodbye to Manatsu and she just jumps into the sea like, I don't need you. She just jumps into the sea and Manatsu goes to her house. And that moment when Laura was reflecting on things and she had makeup on and then the makeup went away, that was a very beautiful scene. There was a very beautiful moment. Like artistically speaking, it was in another level. I loved it. But then the villain appeared for the first time. He didn't say his name in this episode. But then he appeared and he started getting motivation from other guys who were running there. And well, if I were running, my motivation would be very low. Just saying. And then he started attacking. He created a Yaraneda to get their motivation. He got their motivation. I think that they are going to need this power for something later on in the series. And so Laura watches that, and there's a big noise, and Manatsu listens. Manatsu's worried about Laura. She runs, and when she gets there, Laura is captured. That scene that Laura was captured was very funny too, and Manatsu starts running. Manatsu starts trying to beat up Yaraneda, and the villain tried to speak to Manatsu, and Manatsu wasn't listening, and he got angry. That scene was also very funny, and the villain is not as hot as I thought he would be. I mean, he doesn't look awful. He does look cute, but he could be better. He could be a little better. But this scene was very interesting, like the way things happened, because Manatsu really wanted to help Laura and did resonated with Laura's heart and with the pact, so she was able to transform into Cure Summer. I love the transformation, and after that shot after the transformation, the camera goes up on Cure Summer was also very beautiful. And if we were a little afraid of the fighting scenes from Tropical-Rouge, I thought they were going to be very comedic. I think those fears can rest for now, because this scene in this first episode was awesome. We that love Sakuga scenes can rest assured that at least in this first episode, it was there. The way Kira Summer fought against the Yaraneda was incredible. The way she ran around it, and that scene that she ran, oh my god, the sand started going up. Girl, I loved it. It was incredibly great. It was incredibly great. And she was able to throw the Yaraneda off and save Laura. And then when the Yaraneda was lying there, the aquapot started shining in Laura's head, and she got it. And she started like filming, because the aquapot has a camera in it. She started filming the Yaraneda. And something that I didn't like in Healing Good is happening again. Like, why do we need to know where the monster stored the motivation inside of it? Like, why? This is not relevant at all. Like, not for us in Healing Good. It wasn't either. Like, no, like, when the monster is beat, Kira Summer destroys the monster with her attack. So like everything, like the whole monster is affected, so it doesn't really matter where it is. But she's able to get the motivation back to the aquapot. So maybe they're gonna use this to save her land somehow, even though the motivation has to go back to the humans who were affected, right? So I don't know if this can work. But it was very nice that the Yaraneda tried to steal Kira Summer's motivation, and it could not steal her motivation. Yes, Kira Summer is strong enough to, you know, and take the unmotivation away, and she was able to keep on fighting, and she was able to use her attack. Her little lipstick turned into the weapon, and I love the attack. Girl, this attack is everything. I really love it. And she was able to defeat the monster. It was very cute, it was very funny, and the villain was angry. The villain was like, I don't want to do this anymore. He went away. And in this episode, we were also able to see the big queen, right? She has a name, I forgot her name. The Witch of Procrastination. In Portuguese, that was how it was translated. I don't know about it in English. So she was laying there. The butler was right there with her. He was just there. So I think, as I theorized before, I don't think he will be the one to attack the girls. He's probably gonna be more around the queen herself. And I really like the visuals of the queen, because she looks menacing, she looks scary. But then she was like, I don't want to do this now. I want to do this tomorrow. And I'm curious about that thing in her head, because she screamed and like a big power came out of it. Does that mean she's being controlled somehow, or is it just her own power? What does it mean? I'm curious towards this villain, but I understand her. You know, sometimes we just don't want to get up. We just want to lay on our other side of the bed. That's just it, basically. So I understand her. Girl, I understand you. I get you. And so the episode ended with a cute scene between Laura and Manatsu. The way they looked at each other. Girl, what? Oh my god, I freaked out a little bit with that scene, honestly. And again, very artistic, very beautiful. And the way it ended with Laura not really wanting to explain why Manatsu needs to fight. And Manatsu desperately wanting to know, and Laura was just there, because Laura's happy now that she found a cure. She probably thinks that she's gonna be the queen already, and she thinks everything is ready for her, but it's not really like that, because in the next episode we're gonna see a little drama between Laura and Manatsu, because Manatsu wants to enjoy life in the new city, and Laura wants Manatsu to focus on being a cure. So how is it gonna work for both of them? What is gonna happen? I'm curious, and I loved it. This first episode was everything I wanted, everything I needed, and a little bit more. This season is gonna deliver. I can already feel it. And the way Laura traverses into the city, there's lots of water in the city, so the way she traverses into the city, it's very nice. And in the next episode, are people gonna find out that there's a mermaid among them already? Like the people from school? what is gonna happen? I'm very curious towards this. Very curious. And Laura will stay in the aquapod, but we don't know if she's gonna stay with Manatu or she's gonna be around in the sea. So we don't really know what is gonna happen for now. So this makes me even more excited for the next episodes. What did you think about the first episode, about the debut of Tropical-Rouge? I had tons and tons and tons of fun. I think this episode is a very strong start and a very good way to start this season. I cannot wait for more. And what about you? Leave in the comments, let's keep talking. Anyways, just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for believing in Magical Cinema. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And as Kaguya would say, Tropica Dios!